So the first cut of meat that we're going to trim up is a strip loin of beef. So what I've got here in front of me is a whole side of strip loin. It's about 5 or 6 kilos. Now you'll generally pay a good sort of 30% less by buying a whole side of strip loin as opposed to sort of going into your butcher shop and buying individual cuts. So if you're a big beef eater, or if you can sort of share around the steaks to your family, I'd definitely encourage you to buy a whole side and sort of make that saving, and I'll be able to show you a few tips in terms of how to trim it up. So there's 2 stages in terms of trimming up a whole strip loin of beef. The first stage is to remove some of this excess exterior fat. There's a good sort of layer of fat that exists on a strip loin, so it's about just removing as much or as little as you prefer and like. So just with your knife, it's important to leave a nice thin layer of fat across the strip loin, because the fat really helps to sort of baste the meat, keep it nice and juicy and tender when you're grilling it. So the next step of trimming up this whole strip loin is to remove this whole chain of sinew that you've got down the side of this strip loin. Now this side of the strip loin here is the side that actually butts up against the spine bone, and there's this really thick, impossible to sort of chew and eat piece of sinew that runs the whole length of this strip loin. So that we need to remove that in order to get these perfect steaks of sirloin. So it's very easy to distinguish between what fat and silver skin or the membrane is. So the fat has got that sort of quite soft buttery texture to it, whereas the membrane and the silver skin is literally that. It's just a membrane that sort of stretches the length of the strip loin. So there you have it. A beautifully trimmed piece of strip loin. We've removed that sort of side chain that exists along the side of the strip loin, and all of that connective tissue, that silver skin and that membrane that ran along the top of it. I know it doesn't look like much, but let me get my steak knife out and cut this into a couple of steaks and see what it's all about. So there you have it. A beautiful piece of trimmed sirloin steak, exactly like you'll see at your local butcher. I'll have mine medium rare, thank you very much.